The whispered myths. The Eternal Commerce Station floated like a jewel in the darkness of space, its crystalline spires catching starlight from 3 different solar systems. Built at the intersection of major hyperlanes, it served as the beating heart of galactic trade. Merchants from 100 different worlds gathered here, their ships docked in perfectly organized rows that stretched for kilometers in every direction. Inside the station's vast marketplaces, the air hummed with 1,000 different languages being translated in real time by neural implants that every civilized being wore. Captain Zix adjusted his breathing apparatus as he sat in the dimly lit corner of the nebula's rest tavern. His scales had turned a darker shade of purple, a sign of deep thought among his species, the Corvani. Around him, other traders shared stories of their recent journeys, but Zix remained silent, nursing a container of fermented starfruit juice. His 3 eyes kept darting toward the entrance as if expecting trouble to walk through at any moment. "You've been quiet tonight, old friend," said Merchant Talara, sliding into the seat across from him. Her feathers rustled with curiosity, creating a soft melody that her species used for subtle communication. "Your last trade route took you near the void sectors, didn't it? Find anything interesting out there?" Zix's middle eye focused on her, while the other 2 continued scanning the room. He leaned forward, his voice dropping to barely above a whisper. "Talara, have you ever heard the old stories, the ones about the Deathworlders?" She laughed, a sound like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. "Every young trader hears those tales. Beings from impossible worlds who somehow survived where no life should exist. They're just stories to scare newcomers away from dangerous sectors." "That's what I thought too," Zix replied, pulling out a small holographic projector. "Until I found this." He activated the device, and a 3-dimensional image appeared above their table. It showed a piece of metal, clearly manufactured, but with markings unlike anything in the galactic database. The metal itself seemed to shimmer with an unusual quality, as if it had been forged using techniques unknown to modern science. Talara's feathers suddenly stood on end, a sign of alarm. "Where did you find this?" "Floating in the debris field near the Callus Nebula. My scanners almost missed it, but the metal composition was so unusual that it triggered an anomaly alert." Zix manipulated the hologram, zooming in on the markings. "These symbols don't match any known language in our databases. But look at this section here." He pointed to what appeared to be a mathematical formula etched into the metal. "This equation describes a type of faster-than-light travel that our best scientists say is theoretically impossible." Before Talara could respond, every communication device in the tavern suddenly activated simultaneously. The pleasant background music cut out, replaced by an emergency broadcast from the Galactic Council. High Chancellor Morvac's imposing figure appeared on every screen, his crystalline form refracting light in patterns that conveyed authority and urgency. "Citizens of the Galactic Federation," Morvac began, his harmonic voice resonating through the translator implants. "We have received multiple reports of unknown vessels detected near our outer colonies. These ships do not respond to standard communication protocols and appear to be using propulsion systems that defy our understanding of physics. All civilian traffic is advised to avoid the following sectors." As the Chancellor listed coordinates, Zix noticed they formed a rough line pointing toward the galactic core from the unexplored regions beyond the void sectors. The very regions where ancient star charts warned travelers never to venture. 3 days later, on the research vessel Seeker of Truth, Dr. Vilene carefully examined the artifacts her team had excavated from a dead world in the Mortis system. The Althari scientist had spent 50 years studying extinct civilizations, but nothing had prepared her for what she was seeing now. The artifacts were clearly technological, but they seemed to combine organic and mechanical elements in ways that shouldn't be possible. "Computer, analyze the molecular structure of Artifact 7, she commanded, her 4 delicate arms manipulating the scanning equipment with practiced precision. "Analysis complete," the AI responded. "Material composition includes elements not found on the periodic table. Molecular bonds appear to be maintained through an unknown force that violates standard atomic theory." Vilene's large eyes blinked rapidly, a sign of intense concentration among her species. She activated her personal recorder. "Research log, day 43. The artifacts from Mortis 7 continue to challenge our understanding of materials, science. More significantly, we've found what appears to be data storage devices integrated into the artifacts. Initial attempts at decoding have revealed fragmentary images. She brought up the recovered images on her main display. They were distorted and incomplete, but they clearly showed bipedal figures in what appeared to be environmental suits. The beings had a distinctive upright posture with 2 arms and 2 legs. Their faces were obscured by helmets, but their body proportions suggested they were unlike any known species in the Federation. The most disturbing discovery, Vailene continued, is that carbon dating places these artifacts at over 10,000 years old. Yet the technology they represent is in some ways more advanced than our own. How is this possible? A soft chime indicated an incoming priority message. Vailene opened the communication channel to find herself facing Commander Krex of the Defense Fleet. The warrior cast Thraxian's mandibles clicked with agitation. Dr. Vailene, by order of the High Council, all research into the Mortis artifacts is to cease immediately. You are commanded to transfer all materials and data to my ship within the next cycle. Commander, you can't be serious, Vailene protested. We're on the verge of a major breakthrough. These artifacts could revolutionize our understanding of. The Council has deemed this research too dangerous to continue, Krex interrupted. There are some mysteries better left unsolved, Doctor. Compliance is not optional. As Vailene reluctantly began packing the artifacts, she secretly copied the data onto a personal storage device. Something told her that the Council's fear of these discoveries would soon prove to be justified, though perhaps not in the way they expected. Meanwhile, in the border system of Kepler 442, patrol ship Vigilant Dream drifted along its assigned route. Captain Norax had commanded this vessel for 30 years, and in all that time, nothing interesting had ever happened in this remote sector. That was about to change. Captain, called out Lieutenant Vera, her bioluminescent skin flickering with excitement, I'm detecting an unusual signal from beyond our border. It appears to be a distress call, but the format doesn't match any known protocols. Norax floated over to her station, his jellyfish-like form undulating through the low-gravity bridge. Can you decode it? Working on it now, sir. The signal is using a mathematical base system we don't normally see. Wait, I'm getting something. It's audio only. She activated the speakers and a strange sound filled the bridge. It was clearly a voice, but speaking in a language none of them had ever heard. Yet there was something about it, a quality that seemed almost familiar despite being completely alien. The voice sounded stressed, urgent, and unmistakably intelligent. Sir, Vera said, her skin now pulsing with orange hues of concern. The signal is coming from inside the void sectors. According to regulations, we should ignore it. Norax hesitated. The void sectors had been declared off limits for as long as anyone could remember. Ships that ventured there never returned. But the distress call continued, and something about it touched a part of him that transcended regulations. Plot a course, he ordered. We're going in. Sir, that's a violation of. I'm aware, Lieutenant, but we're explorers first, aren't we? Someone needs help. And we're the only ones who can provide it. As the Vigilant Dream changed course and headed toward the source of the signal, none of the crew could have imagined what they were about to encounter. The legends were real, and first contact was about to happen in a way no one had predicted. When legends become reality, the Vigilant Dream dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of a debris field that shouldn't exist. According to all star charts, this region of space was supposed to be empty, just another vast stretch of nothing between the stars. Instead, Captain Norax and his crew found themselves staring at the remnants of what appeared to be a massive space battle. Twisted metal fragments floated in elaborate patterns, some still glowing with residual energy from weapons. Fire. Sensors are going crazy, Captain, Lieutenant Vera reported, her bioluminescent skin cycling through colors of confusion. I'm detecting at least 12 different types of alloy compositions, none of which match our databases. The radiation signatures suggest weapons discharge of incredible magnitude. Through the debris field, they could see the source of the distress signal. It was a ship, but unlike anything in their databases. The vessel was angular and aggressive-looking, painted in a dark gray that seemed to absorb light. It was smaller than most Federation ships, maybe 300 meters in length, but something about its design screamed danger. Weapon ports were visible along its hull, far more than any peaceful vessel would need. The ship appears to be damaged, Vera continued. I'm reading multiple hull breaches and their power core is fluctuating. Life signs are strange. I'm detecting approximately 40 biological entities, but their readings are unlike anything I've seen. Norax made a decision. That would change galactic history. Bring us alongside, prepare the emergency docking collar. As they approached, a section of the unknown ship's hull suddenly irised open, revealing an airlock. It was as if the vessel was inviting them in. Against all protocol and common sense, Norax decided to lead the boarding party himself. The interior of the ship was a study in practical efficiency. Every surface served a purpose, every corridor was wide enough for rapid movement but not an inch wider. The lighting was dim by Federation standards, and the atmosphere was thick with oxygen and nitrogen at ratios that would be toxic to most species. They found the crew in what appeared to be a medical bay. Norax had prepared himself for anything, but the sight still took him by surprise. The beings were bipedal, roughly 2 meters tall, with powerful musculature visible even through their damaged uniforms. Their skin came in various shades of brown and pink, and their faces were strangely expressive despite having only 2 eyes. One of them, apparently less injured than the others, stood up as the boarding party entered. He held up his hands in what seemed to be a peaceful gesture and spoke in that same strange language from the distress call. Then, to everyone's amazement, he pulled out a device and began inputting symbols. Within moments, a holographic display appeared showing mathematical concepts, starting with basic arithmetic and quickly advancing to complex equations. He's trying to establish a communication baseline, Vera whispered. This being is showing us their mathematical system so we can build a translation matrix. It took 3 hours, but eventually, they managed to establish rudimentary communication. The being identified himself as Commander James Harrison of the Earthship Endeavor. Earth, he explained through mathematical concepts and simple pictographs, was the name of their home world, a planet that existed in conditions that would kill most Federation species instantly. High gravity, intense radiation from their star, tectonic instability, weather systems of incredible violence, and an ecosystem where everything seemed designed to kill everything else. Yet somehow these humans, as they called themselves, had not only survived but thrived in such conditions. They had achieved spaceflight through sheer determination and engineering prowess, developing technologies that the Federation had deemed impossible. We were exploring, Harrison managed to convey through their improvised communication system. Found others like you. Pirates attacked them. We helped. Pirates had friends. We fought. We won. But ship damaged. Norax looked at the tactical display Harrison showed them. If the data was accurate, the Endeavor had single-handedly destroyed 6 pirate vessels that had been terrorizing the outer colonies for years, ships that the Federation Defense Fleet had deemed too dangerous to engage directly. Within days, news of the discovery reached the Galactic Council. Emergency sessions were called, debates raged for hours, and fear spread through the governing body like wildfire. The humans were real, and they were everything the legends had warned about. They were predators who had evolved on a world that would kill any other known sapient species. They had developed weapons that could tear through Federation shields like paper. Their ships were built for war in a way that Federation vessels, designed primarily for peace and exploration, simply weren't. High Chancellor Morvac stood before the assembled council, his crystalline form resonating with carefully controlled harmonics. We face a crisis unlike any in our history. These humans possess military capabilities that could conquer our entire Federation. Their very biology is weaponized by their evolution. They heal from injuries that would kill us, survive, in environments we consider uninhabitable, and think in terms of conflict and competition that we abandoned millennia ago. Then we must strike first, urged General Thaka of the warrior caste, before they can bring their full force against us. And confirm every violent instinct they might have, countered Ambassador Sylvine. We know nothing of their true intentions. The fact that they rescued our colonists from pirates suggests they're capable of benevolence. As the council debated, none of them noticed the small maintenance drone that had attached itself to the exterior of their station. Inside, its advanced sensors recorded every word, every gesture, every piece of data that flew through the council's networks. The information was compressed, encrypted, and sent via quantum entanglement to a receiver light years away. Admiral Sarah Chen read the intelligence report aboard the Earth Federation battleship Prometheus. Around her, the bridge crew worked. With quiet efficiency, their movements economical and precise. Humanity had been monitoring the Galactic Federation for years, learning their languages, studying their cultures, and understanding their fears. "They're terrified of us," her executive officer, Captain David Okonkwo, observed. "Can't say I blame them. From their perspective, we're the monsters from their nightmares." Sarah nodded thoughtfully. "Fear makes people do stupid things. We need to control this narrative before it spirals into something nobody wants." She turned to her communications officer. "Send a message to Earth Command. Tell them it's time for Plan Omega." 3 weeks later, the Galactic Council was in session when every defensive system in their station suddenly went offline. Panic erupted as lights flickered and artificial gravity fluctuated. Then, as suddenly as it had begun, everything returned to normal. But on the main viewing screen, instead of the usual stellar display, there was now a human face. The woman on the screen had dark hair streaked with silver and eyes that seemed to see right through them. She spoke, and somehow her words were perfectly translated into every language simultaneously. "Members of the Galactic Council, I am Admiral Sarah Chen of the Earth Federation. We are here to talk." Chancellor Morvac found his voice first. "How did you breach our systems? Our defenses were designed to stop threats, you understand," Sarah interrupted calmly. "We are not that kind of threat. We could have destroyed your station, conquered your worlds, and taken what we wanted. Instead, we're here to offer you something. And what could predators from a death world possibly offer us?" General Thaka snarled. Sarah smiled, and several council members involuntarily stepped back. It was a predator's expression, but somehow also warm. "Protection. You have a pirate problem. Criminal organizations that your peaceful methods can't contain. Threats from outside your borders that you're not equipped to handle. We've been watching, and we know you're vulnerable." She gestured, and the display changed to show a star map. Red markers indicated known pirate bases and criminal strongholds. "We can eliminate these threats for you. Our payment? Trade rights, cultural exchange, and a seat on this council. We don't want to conquer you. We want to join you." "Why should we trust you?" Morvac asked. "Because if we wanted to conquer you, we wouldn't be asking permission," Sarah replied bluntly. "But more importantly, because despite our differences, we share something fundamental. We're curious. We want to explore, to learn, to grow. Yes, we evolved on a harsh world. Yes, we're capable of violence. But we're also capable of choosing not to use it." The display changed again, showing images of human history. Wars and conflicts, yes, but also art, music, scientific achievements, and moments of incredible compassion and sacrifice. "We learned to work together to survive our world," Sarah continued. "Now we want to work with you to explore the universe. Give us a chance to prove ourselves." The council debated for hours, but in the end, pragmatism won. The pirates were a real threat, and the humans had already demonstrated they could handle them. A trial partnership was agreed upon, with strict conditions and monitoring. The Battle of Nexus Point, as it came to be known, occurred just 1 month later. A massive pirate fleet, emboldened by the Council's perceived weakness, launched an all-out assault on a major trading hub. The Federation defense fleet was overwhelmed within minutes. Then the humans arrived. Just 3 ships, each no larger than a Federation cruiser. They moved through space in ways that seemed to violate physics, accelerating and decelerating at rates that should have torn them apart. Their weapons were precise, surgical, and devastatingly effective. Energy beams that carved through shields, kinetic projectiles that shattered hulls, and electronic warfare capabilities that turned the pirates' own systems against them. In less than an hour, it was over. The pirate fleet was destroyed or surrendered. The trading hub was saved, and not a single Federation life was lost. Captain Norax, who witnessed the battle from his patrol ship, later wrote in his log, "I have seen the humans fight, and I understand now why they are so dangerous. It is not just their weapons or their ships, it is their minds. They see patterns we miss, exploit weaknesses we don't notice, and adapt to changing situations faster than we can process what's happening. But I also saw them risk their lives to save a Federation transport full of refugees. They are indeed predators, but they choose to hunt those who would harm the innocent." As the months passed, humanity integrated slowly but steadily into galactic society. There were challenges, misunderstandings, and moments of tension. But there were also breakthroughs, innovations, and unexpected friendships. Human cuisine became popular among species who could digest it. Their music and art found appreciation in unexpected places. Their engineers worked with Federation scientists to develop technologies that neither could have created alone. Dr. Vilene, who had been studying the ancient artifacts, finally got to meet human archaeologists. Together, they discovered that the artifacts were indeed human in origin, left by an early exploration mission that had been thought lost thousands of years ago. The humans had been among the stars far longer than anyone had imagined, watching and waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. 1 year after first contact, Ambassador James Harrison, the same commander who had been rescued by Captain Norax, stood before the Galactic Council to deliver humanity's first official address. "As a provisional member, we know what you call us in your ancient texts," he began. "Deathworlders, predators, monsters from impossible worlds. And in a way, you're right. We did evolve on a death world. We are predators. But we're also more than that. We're builders, dreamers, and explorers. We're proof that life can thrive anywhere, that intelligence can emerge from chaos, and that even predators can choose to be protectors." He paused, looking around the great hall at the assembled species. "You feared us because we were legends, stories told in the dark about dangers from beyond the known. But legends can teach us something important. They remind us that the universe is vast and full of surprises, that there's always more to discover, and that sometimes the things we fear most can become our greatest allies. Humanity requests full membership in the Galactic Federation," Harrison concluded. "Not as conquerors or overlords, but as partners in the great adventure of exploring the cosmos. We bring our strength, yes, but also our curiosity, our creativity, and our unshakable belief that diversity makes us all stronger. The legends are true, we are here, and we come in peace." The Council voted unanimously to accept humanity as full members. As the session ended and delegates began to disperse, Captain Zix approached Commander Harrison. "You know," Zix said, his scales shifting to a color of amusement, "when I found that piece of your hull plating months ago, I never imagined it would lead to this." Harrison smiled. "The universe has a funny way of bringing people together, even when those people evolved in completely different environments and probably shouldn't exist in the same room, without environmental suits, and so the legends became reality, but not in the way anyone had expected. The humans were dangerous, yes, but they were dangerous to those who would threaten peace. They were predators who chose to protect the herd rather than hunt it. They were deathworlders who brought life and vitality to a Federation that had grown perhaps too comfortable in its peace. The galaxy would never be the same, and most agreed that was a good thing.